I've covered a lot of different horror anime over the years, and the biggest problem with a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot, is they're just not scary, and a lot of the times just are not good either. From a lot of the horror anime I've seen, to make a good one, you have to do what Madoka Magica or The Promised Neverland Season 1 did, where they put their innocent-looking child characters through such traumatic situations that it becomes scary. So horror anime usually fall into two categories. Either they're just not scary at all and sometimes kind of boring, or they take innocent characters and put them through horrific situations. But there's actually a third category that some horror anime fall into, and that's the fun horror anime. Like the anime Another, which I covered last year. Another doesn't necessarily have the best story, but I had a lot of fun watching it. It is a little spooky at times, but also has the ridiculous kills of a fun slasher film. Another might not be a great example though, because I think it's supposed to be taken seriously. But anyways, there's a horror anime / manga that I love that falls into this third category. It has some spooky horror elements, but is also a comedy. And the anime is called Mieruko Chan. Mieruko Chan, which literally translates to the girl who can see invisible things, is about this girl named Miko, who for some reason can see ghosts. And almost all of the ghosts she can see are horrifying monsters. And the way she decides to deal with this is to just completely ignore them, because she's scared of what they might do to her if they find out she can see them. Mieruko-chan is so much fun. It's definitely more of a slice-of-life horror series, which I don't think I've seen before. Each episode is mainly about Miko living her daily life, dealing with seeing all these monsters. It's really funny seeing how she'll react to seeing them, like pretending for 20 minutes that she got something stuck in her eye until the monster leaves. Also, Miko's best friend Hannah. While she can't see the ghost, she for some reason has a really powerful aura that draws monsters to her. So Miko is always trying to protect Hannah from the monsters, like pretending to spill a bunch of hand sanitizer on her, hoping it'll scare off the monster that's wrapped around her. There's also another character named Yuria, which I might be mispronouncing that name. She gets introduced in the second or third episode, I think, and she's a girl who really wants to be an exorcist when she grows up. She can also see ghosts, but unlike Miko, she can only see really weak ghosts, and not the terrifying ones Miko can see. And there's a lot of coincidences that happen that make her think Miko is actually a really powerful exorcist. For example, there's a scene where Miko points and says there's a spider to scare Hannah away from a ghost. And at the same time, the really powerful ghost that she was pointing at happened to eat another weak ghost nearby. And since Yuria can't see the strong ghost, she thinks Miko is so strong she can exorcise ghosts just by pointing at them. When in reality, the terrifying strong ghost is the one that destroyed the weak ghost. It's actually pretty funny how many things happen that make Yuria think Miko's a powerful exorcist. So while each episode pretty much follows this formula where Miko tries to avoid these monsters while protecting her friend, and sometimes something happens that makes Yuria think Miko is a powerful exorcist. Now it can be pretty repetitive, but later on it starts to get more interesting, and there's actual stories that it tells that are quite interesting. Most of the first season is just about Miko's daily life, which can be kind of boring sometimes. It's not until like the last 2 episodes where there's kind of a story and it gets really interesting. But where it really starts to get good is right after where the anime ends. There's a really interesting storyline involving these 2 monsters, and it's really good. Some parts during the storyline are actually kind of scary, and it tells a really good story. I don't want to get into spoilers, but if they make a season 2, the second season is going to be a lot better, but the manga gets really crazy and really good. Speaking of scary, how scary is Mieruko Chan? After all, I'm covering it for Halloween as a horror anime. Well, I don't really think it's scary, but if you were reading the manga at like 3 a.m., some of the monsters might scare you. The author Tomoki Izumi is really good at drawing these grotesque monsters, and they have scary designs. Some of them are these massive misshapen creatures, and they are fucking creepy. At the end of Volume 7, the author has his rough designs of the monsters from the anime, and he goes into detail about the design of them. It's really interesting to read and see kind of the thought process behind the designs. Like, for example, there's a monster that looks like a cat that has knives stabbed into it. And he said he purposely made it not fully resemble a cat by making it grotesque and kind of obscuring its face with like haze, because he didn't want people to feel bad for it or to think it's cute. I just find it so fascinating because when I first watched the anime, I was really impressed by the variety of the monsters and just how grotesque some of them look. So while it's not necessarily a scary manga / anime, there are some scary and honestly really cool monster designs. Now, while the majority of ghosts Miko sees are these grotesque, terrifying monsters, she can also see nice ghosts. But sometimes it's hard to tell if it's a nice ghost or not, or even if it's a real person or not. There are some moments where she'll go to talk to someone and not realize it's a monster, and those moments are actually kind of scary because they'll switch from being like, for example, she talks to this cute little boy in the park, and then all of a sudden he like jump scares you and turns into this terrifying monster. But there are also some really sad and heartwarming moments because she can see the ghosts of real people who have died. For example, in one of the first episodes, Miko goes to eat breakfast with her family, and there's a monster sitting with them. Her brother asks her what's wrong, and he says that he hasn't seen her look this upset since their dad ate her pudding. To which Miko's dad responds, saying, "Don't bring that up again, please. I don't want her to be upset with me." Then Miko takes some of her pudding that she had in the fridge and places it at her father's shrine, revealing that her dad has been dead, and that was his ghost she was seeing. And she's the only one who can still see him. Moments like this show that Miko's powers aren't all bad. Yeah, 90% of the time it's terrifying for her always seeing these monsters, but there are some scenes that are heartwarming because of her powers, and I really like that. It shows that it's not all terrible all the time, and she could maybe put the powers to use or something. Also, I feel like this series has a lot of potential to do some fun, spooky things. They already have done some fun, spooky things. Like, for example, this happens in the most recent volume, so I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, but for certain reasons, Miko has to stay in a hospital overnight. And as you can probably imagine, there's a lot of ghosts in a hospital. The volume was really fun to read because it was a fun setting where Miko has to try to avoid all these monsters while staying in the hospital. And I just thought it was really entertaining. There are also some like other heartwarming moments in there because she can see people who have died and it's a hospital. That volume has been like one of the most fun that I've read so far, so I'm really interested in where they go next, and I feel like there's just a lot of fun to be had with the concept of her seeing ghosts, and I want to see like what they do next, like maybe go to a haunted house or something. I don't know. I feel like there's probably some fun ideas for this that I think could be pretty cool, and I really want to see what they do in the future. You know, like I was saying earlier, it's really hard to find good horror anime. That's why when a series like Mieruko Chan comes along, it's really refreshing. It doesn't try to be this super serious, scary anime. It just tries to be entertaining, and that's why it's so good. It's a funny horror anime that's a lot of fun to watch. Again, it's really hard for an anime to be scary. That's why when a horror anime tries to be serious and scary, it doesn't really work a lot of the time. So for me, Mieruko Chan is up there as one of my favorite horror anime / manga. It's just really fun, and if the anime gets another season, it's gonna be really good, like I was saying earlier. Anyways, if you want a fun horror anime to watch for Halloween this year, then maybe check this one out, or read the manga, because that's also really good, and the manga has a lot more to it. And it's at a really interesting point, and I'm really excited for the next volume to release in English because I want to see what happens. Also, I hope you like this video. It's been a really long time since I've posted videos this close together, and it was a little stressful getting this one out. If I got it out, I probably didn't get it out in time for Halloween. So if you're watching this in November, hey, what's up? Hopefully Halloween was good this year. Also, don't think my costume was great, but I'm dressed up as Akira from Zom 100. Which honestly, I should have worn this in the last video that I made because the last video was about Zom 100 and it would have made so much more sense. But the jacket and goggles didn't arrive in time, so yeah. I kind of just threw this together with stuff I found on Amazon, so I know it probably doesn't look great. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really glad that I was able to cover Mieruko Chan. I actually wanted to cover it last year, but ended up making a video on another. So I'm really glad that I could do this one, and I'll see you all next time in November for my video. I'm trying to post once a month because these videos take a while when it's just me doing everything. Anyway, sorry for the long outro. If you stuck this long, thanks for watching. Happy Halloween. See you later. Next video. Bye.